Oh, one thing I like as well. We touched on the Fest bike earlier, but explain what you do to a normal downhill bike to make it Fest ready. Because when you turn up and look at those bikes, you're like, it is a downhill bike, but
Yeah,
it's a bit different.
they're made for one thing and one thing only, really. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, well, my Fest bike, I ride 4 times a year at the 4 events. The rest of the time it stays in the shed. Like, there's no use for it in a bike park, really. You basically just put. Well, everyone's is different. Some guys still have 26. Some of the the hardcore guys that won't let it go. But I got 27. Put semi-slick tires on, and then you can kind of roll a bit faster.
Heavy ones?
I do. Some guys don't. But actually have put 2 inner tubes once in my wheels at Darkfest because we're having because it does get windy and you're not doing everyone's dirt jump slopestyle bikes. You want it to be as light as possible. That's what we always try to do. So you kind of put the lightest tires, wheels on, but that's only because you want to spin it around as many times as you can, kind of and that's where you get an advantage. But Fest is the other way around. It's like being comfortable on the jump makes you be able to ride them better, kind of. And if there's a slight wind, that obviously doesn't help. So if you've got big heavy wheels, that keeps you kind of tracking straight. So actually, yeah, me and Clement said before, we put on the downhill tires and also sometimes put either the big fat downhill tubes, or actually we both tried it out with 2 inner tubes once in the wheels, and you can feel a big difference actually. And it sounds weird, but it does help with whips too, because the wheel's heavier, so it's kind of spinning. So you can
so you centrifugal.
Yeah, so it wants to stay straight way more, which is actually cool. So yeah, no one really cares about weight for their Fest bike, and no one has gears. Andrea's taken his front brake off before, but yeah, I'd never do that.
Jeez. And what about suspension setup? What do you do anything crazy to that other than go really hard?
Pretty much. A lot of people go a lot harder than me, but I still quite like a bit of bounce.
What was your spring though?
I did find a pit bike spring that was £1,000 one that somehow fit onto this weird shock that I had. And I did ride that for a good few years, but now I got a 700 because I thought that was a bit much. It was just I was scared of snapping my cranks.
Yeah.
Spring, because it was kind of
no give.
But you need the hard suspension for the takeoffs, not for the landings, which is weird. Everyone thinks it's for the hard impacts on the landing, and yes, it sometimes is. That doesn't really matter. It's more you just want to be confident on the takeoff. So when there's that big compression, you don't want your bike to be flexing. You don't want your bike to be compressing too much. That's when you need the hard suspension and actually hard tires. You need to ride sort of 40 plus psi, otherwise your tires fold on the takeoff.
So it's to stop the squirming feeling upper lip.
Exactly, yeah. Just like the same with BMX and dirt jump bike, you wouldn't have soft tires in the dirt jumps because they fold off when you don't want them, when you compress them. So it's the same on that.
Yeah.
It's compounded because the jump's 3 times as long and you've got more air time to think about it after you've gone wonky.
And do you tighten the headset up super tight as well, I guess? So there's no shake or anything?
I just do it up as...
Really?
as tight.
I feel like a steering stabilizer would be good on a
Someone made one. I think, that's it. Adolf made one. He put an inner tube, he tied it somehow around his forks. But that's when he was trying this weird trick where he spins around his bars to keep his bars straight.
Right.
So he does. I can't remember what it was called.
Body varial thing.
The body varial one. Yeah, that he did at Audi 9s that year. So he literally jumps off the bike. The bike stays straight. He did a 360 and then grabs back on the bike again. But yeah, he had tied some inner tube round his bars to pull them so they'd stay completely straight.
Wow.
So that when he came round, the bars were where he knew they were. It still took him about 5 days to land it.
Did it really?
He'd get it in the end, yeah.
Jeez, tricks of the trade, eh? The tricks of the trade.
I think that's mad.
I can't wait to see Adolf back again. He couldn't ride this year at Darkfest. He broke his leg real bad last year. So I can't wait for him to actually be back riding because we missed him this year.
That name always. Anyway.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. Not many people say that, do they? Can't wait for Adolf to come back.
Oh yeah, sorry, I did say that.
I didn't even pick up on
that.
It. I was just I can't wait for Adolf to be back. Wait. Silver, Adolf Silver.
Oh dear.